All right, guys, it is the first build guide of the season. This one is actually not going to be. Usually, I try to make the best build, but I kind of went with a more fun one this season since I don't really particularly like this season all that much. But I don't know. Like, I'm still going to play, but I've decided to go shred instead of catastrophe, or not catastrophe, cataclysm, which right now is getting a nerf because they're nerfing the decay. I think it's the augmentation decay. So just all the builds are going to get nerfed, but this build has cleared tier 80 and it did it fairly easily. So I felt comfortable putting out a build guide now, even though it's been like almost 2 weeks, I think, 10 days, I do believe, since the season launched. Um, but anyway, let's just get into it. We're going to start out with the powers so I don't forget about them because I have a tendency to forget something with every build video. If you don't want to use Doom Orb, you can switch over to Vengeful Spirit. I prefer Doom Orb, but this is probably technically better because it would help you not take damage. But I like the Doom Orb going around and just hitting stuff, making far away enemies vulnerable, and so they could do less damage. I do believe there's something that makes vulnerable enemies do less damage. But anyway, if not, I need to switch to this. But for now, I use Doom Orb. Also, I will put out a build, like I make an actual like written build guide for this, but I haven't done it quite yet. I just changed around the board to make it more optimized for level 215 is where we're at right now. And then we have Hex of Shattering, so this makes it where Witchcraft effects will cause enemies to deal less damage. It also helps with one of our little occult ring thingies. Then we have Purging Touch to do more damage, of course. Soul Harvest to boost our core stat. You can do something other than Shaken Soul if you want to, but I prefer to use this to make enemies vulnerable. But you could take something off of the gloves and a chance to make vulnerable. But I would rather them just constantly be vulnerable. And then we have Force of Will, which whenever you pay a life and discard a blue card, you can counter a target spell, or in this case, it says when you kill an enemy, your next 2 overpowers deal increased damage. Spirit Boons, we have 2 on the Eagle, and then we're going Wariness, Swooping Attacks, Avian Wraith has an I. I know English. Bolster and Masochist. And then I think, we'll just go to the gems. We, I can't remember the name of this. Witch Hour, I do believe. It'll make it where Shred is a Eldritch skill. So then the thing that causes us to do more damage will take effect. This is actually not what I want. I just don't have the materials right now to craft more. But I will, in the build guide, put the correct one in for here. And then we have, you deal 15% increased overpower damage to hexed enemies, and they'll be hexed from the shattering, Hex of Shattering. And anything else, the Mercenaries, that's right, Mercenaries. I use right here, and we go down to Crater and Iron Wolf's Call. Whenever Valiance is triggered, your next 4 core skills within 10 seconds deal 25% increased damage. And then also Valiance cooldown is reduced. You could go, what is it? Mocking Lore is not as good. You could go Inspiration if you prefer to go this way to get this 15% resistance to all elements, which I will probably end up doing. I just got to get my figure out exactly where we're going to land at 15%, or if we need this 50% resistance to all elements, because we could take some stuff off the Paragon board. And as long as we still hit our armor, this will still be okay, but I need to upgrade gear, all that stuff. Not quite there yet. Go over to gear. We have Air of Perdition on. You'd want the GA on core skills, but I unfortunately just have it on Lucky Hit Chance because it's what I got. I am wearing Mad Wolf's Glee, which does help us do more damage. It is better than having a normal chest piece, but Shroud of False Death is probably better. I just have not gotten one yet. On the gloves, attack speed, critical strike chance, and you would want to put plus to shred. Just haven't gotten a piece yet. I haven't done a whole lot of bartering this season. This is all just stuff I have found. I haven't bought anything for my character. So here's where we're at. And then we have Werewolf, Critical Strike Chance, and Petrified Duration. You can ditch Critical Strike Chance if you want for the make enemies vulnerable. And then pants-wise, Willpower, Max Life, Armor, Total Armor, and Petrified Duration. Also on the gloves, we're running Retaliation because that is just the best we can get. And usually you're always fortified, so you always do the max damage. So, and this is the best one for that max damage. English is hard. It's late. I'm gonna get words mixed around a little bit. I apologize. And then we have Agile Wolf on here, which is I do believe this is new, where Shred gains a 4th dash and it deals extra damage. So we don't run Bestial Rampage. We run Lupine's Ferocity. I think it's equal to or better than Bestial Rampage, and you don't have to wear the Wild Heart boots to get the extra damage. That's how I see it. You can either use Rakanoth's Wake, or probably better would be Yin's Blessing. You could use either one of those. They will both give you resistance to all elements, which is what really matters. I prefer the Rakanoth's Wake because of the cooldown reduction, but the other one does have all stats, so it possibly would be better, especially if you also don't have a Shroud of False Death. But I got a GA cooldown on this, and like I said, I haven't bartered this season, so here we are. Stormclaws on the pole arm, and then we want willpower, max life, critical strike chance, and chance for Shred to deal double damage. You would want all of your GAs and a chance for Shred to deal double damage, because clearly double damage is good. Amulet wise, do not want movement speed. It is just what I have found. You would want willpower, and venom, and quick shift, total armor, and then critical strike damage. Then we have the Ring of Starless Skies. You could use a different ring, and then you would want to use Unsatiated. But if Ring of Starless Skies is really where it's at, it's just easy. Plus the core skills, you do a lot of damage. And then we have Hunter Zenith, and you would want it to crit on Quick Shift, because Quick Shift's going to give you the most damage. Willpower also isn't bad, but really the most important thing is to get the as much damage on the legendary affix as you can. Going to go to the skill tree. We use Maul so that we can turn into a werebear whenever we want, and that werebear will give us damage reduction with Iron Fur. It'll only last for 3 seconds, but just occasionally swipe and you're good. Sorry, I'm trying to do this all in one take, so I can be lazy and not go to my video editor. As many points in the Shred as we can, down to Primal Shred. And then we want Predatory Instinct, Iron Fur, Heart of the Wild, only 1 point in Heart of the Wild, and to Wild Impulses. And I have Abundance. You can get rid of that if you want to. I prefer to keep it there because usually if you're just ripping through enemies, it doesn't matter. You'll never have to maul for Spirit, but just in case, this will help us only have to do maul once. But you could move these points if you want to. I have 1 into Earthen Bulwark, Enhanced Earthen Bulwark, Ancestral Fortitude, Vigilance, Backlash, and we go down to Innate Debilitating Roar and Preserving Bloodhound with only 1 point into each of these. Let's go down here. 3 into Feral Aptitude, that's all we're going to do here. We got 1 into Charged Atmosphere, up to Electric Shock and Bad Omen. These will work with the one of our Paragon boards when we get there, the glyphs. Then we have 1 into Neurotoxin, 3 into Envenom, and 1 into Toxic Claws. If you have the Shroud of False Death, you could get rid of this point in Toxic Claws. 5, Petrify, Supreme Petrify, Catastrophe, Quick Shift, Heightened Senses, and then Lupine Ferocity. So here's how this works. The Wild Heart Boots, you can get a maximum of a 50% bonus to Bestial Rampage. So when you shapeshift into a werebear, I mean, the werewolf granting attack speed is nice, so we lose some attack speed. I'll give it that. But gaining an extra 20% damage would only put us at 60%, and Lupine's Ferocity is 99 on your crits, so we go Lupine Ferocity. That's just how I feel about it. You know, we need our amulet for Blurred Beast, and Envenom. Those together give us way more damage. Then I can't remember the name of the amulet, but the new Lupine's Ferocity amulet that makes it do more damage. But for damage wise, this is definitely where it's at. Paragon. All right, we got Outmatch, and we have just enough to get to Outmatch here. Come up here, we got Spirit, and I grabbed all the Spirit already. Coming up through this way, getting these resistance to all elements here. Coming up through here, grabbing Heightened Malice is the board. Come over here, Fang and Claw. And then grabbing this up here for some resource gen and max life, and then this right here for a little bit of spirit on kill. And then up through here to ancestral guidance, which is the board. Grabbing this resistance to elements and max life. Go over here. We have Headhunter in here, grabbing all the willpower except for this because I'm not going to spend a point on that because we don't use nature magic. This is where I'm a little bit weird. Some boards, I can't remember the name of it. I actually have a build guide over here, though, that I can take a quick look at. It is Inner Beast, which will make it, which grabbing the legendary node is nice because it can help reset your cooldown. I use this board, though, so I can grab this damage reduction up here and get 10% more damage reduction versus getting my cooldown going down by 5 seconds every 20 or 30 seconds when I shapeshift that many times. It's not worth it, in my opinion. We can just grab this damage reduction up here and like the max life and all of that. And then lastly, we have electrocution in Lust for Carnage. You could, this attack speed over here, we're eventually going to want to grab this. I'm working on just switching over now. It's actually better. You can just take this off, and this is 8, and then from here to here is 7. I just have not done it yet. I was grabbing these for some resistance to all elements, but I am currently capped, but just by 0.1% because I optimized my boards better. But yep, that is it. This is kind of a shoddy put together. Oh, I almost forgot something. We got it. We got it. Circ and Cry. Using 5 skills and become exhausted. It'll give you 300. So every 3 seconds, pretty much every 3 seconds or so, about 3.5, you'll invoke the vortex and pull enemies in. And then we got cast 2 mobility skills, and your next skill cast will be guaranteed critical strike and overpower. I have to do it 7 times, but casting 2 mobility skills, shred is a mobility skill. So, you know, think I got it now. So this is not my best put together build guide, but this is what I'm rocking with the season, and it's doing me pretty well. It's not as fast as previous seasons, but apparently it might be a good idea that we went this direction because it seems that some of the higher end builds are about to get hit with a nerf because they were abusing the decay augmentation, and apparently Blizzard's nerfing stuff now mid-season. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all the generic YouTube stuff, and I will catch you guys in the next one. I don't know when that'll be, but sometime.